Google just got a $34.5 billion acquisition offer for Chrome from a company worth half of that amount. And the craziest part? The buyer wants to keep Google as the default search engine. Wait, what? I'm about to show you why Perplexity's offer makes 0 sense on paper, but perfect sense when you understand what's really happening behind the scenes. Plus, I'll reveal exactly how this impacts your website traffic and what you need to do right now before September hits. But first, let me ask you something. When was the last time you changed your default search engine? Because millions of people are doing exactly that. And most business owners have no idea it's happening. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this acquisition could change everything about how people find your business online. And if you're wondering whether you should panic about your SEO strategy, well, the answer might surprise you. Perplexity wants to buy Google Chrome, and that's with an acquisition offer of $34.5 billion, which is more than Perplexity's own valuation. So really interesting times. This was an all-cash offer made on 12th of August. And this is in the background of Google's ongoing antitrust trials, where it's been proposed that Google might have to sell Chrome in order to avoid monopolizing the search market. So Perplexity's own valuation is $18 billion, backed by a huge amount of venture capital funding. But this is not actually some sort of parasitic acquisition. It might seem obvious, let's buy Chrome and then just make Perplexity the default search engine on it. But it's actually a lot more sophisticated than that, at least on the front end, where Perplexity promises to keep Chromium open source, invest $3 billion over 2 years, and maintain Google as default search engine. And of course, Perplexity is saying this is entirely designed just to satisfy the antitrust remedy in the highest public interest by placing Chrome with a capable independent operator. So they're saying this is like a philanthropic gesture. Now, Perplexity has been one of the biggest challenges for the actual search market. I know a lot of people who have changed their default search engine to Perplexity just because of the quality of its research abilities and basically just delivering that kind of AI response snippet that we all now know so well. So it started in 2022, it's now worth $18 billion. It's got 30 million monthly active users, and that generates $150 million in annual revenue. So good numbers, but that's actually tiny compared to the overall search market, especially tiny compared to Google. And the core product is that AI-powered answer engine that provides direct answers with citations rather than just a list of 10 blue links. Now, they have been trying to gain market share with their own Comet brand, and that includes various AI features like summarizing web pages and automating tasks. So again, lots of exciting stuff going on, but as we're so used to now, there's all these challenges like Claude, OpenAI, Perplexity, all fighting for first move, and what works great 1 week seems to be very familiar and dated just a few weeks later. So what's going on with Chrome? Well, in 2024, the US District Judge Amit Mehta ruled that Google illegally monopolized the search market. So the Department of Justice proposed Google get rid of Chrome as a remedy just to create a more equal playing field for search competitors. Now, if you remember those numbers from earlier, instead, Chrome has 3.5 billion users, that's half the world, and a 60% global browser market share. So we all remember our own variations of Internet Explorer, Firefox, all those completely dwarfed by Chrome. But as we know, this was always going to be a data play for Google. It means they basically own the full user experience on the internet. So they've gone from just monitoring people's Google searches and to where they click in and where they click out, when do they actually terminate that search, and therefore how can they improve the quality of search results. Recent Google leaks have confirmed that Chrome does supply lots of valuable user data in terms of behavioral data. How long do people spend on certain web pages? And of course, this is all valuable data for ad targeting as well. So you can see why Chrome is such a valuable asset to Google, and therefore also a very valuable asset to Perplexity. But again, it doesn't seem like Perplexity just wants to bolt its own product directly on top of Chrome. But of course, I think the key player here is just user acquisition, especially with these kinds of fast-paced venture capital-backed startups. It's all about acquisition. It is all about user growth. So bear in mind, Perplexity only has, I say only, but only has 30 million monthly active users, whereas Chrome has 3.5 billion users. So it's very easy to see this is like a real estate grab. This is simply about getting maximum number of eyeballs over to their product and brand. I think there's an argument here for retention as well. So they talk about 30 million monthly active users, but again, are people using Perplexity every day? Are they spending long sessions on it? Compared to Chrome, where not only does it have 3.5 billion users, but actually those 3.5 billion users are probably using it all the time. Right now, I'm recording this video through my browser on Chrome. So I don't think it's just about the volume here, it's about the sheer time all these users are spending with a particular product with Chrome. Now, of course, we get to the usual argument about AI search adoption and what it's actually going to look like. And we know that Perplexity is basically an answer engine. Now, at the moment, it's still, in terms of usage, it's still dwarfed by ChatGPT. And what's more, we generally find that Perplexity's got some of the biggest overlap with Google search results. So if you rank well on Google, you're very likely to rank well on Perplexity as well. But as with all these AI startups, and of course the legacy player of Google, there's always the argument around ad integration, where currently this hasn't happened yet to a lot of the AIs, whereas of course Google is heavily dependent on ads, monetizing every single search, whereas a lot of these AI tools are simply burning cash just for user growth. So what does all this mean for SEO and your website and your business? Well, I think number one, it comes back to what I've said for a long time, and that's that Perplexity is still very much targeting just informational searches. And these have already been a problem for a long time. A few years ago, we had feature snippets everywhere. Now we've got AI overviews everywhere. And we've got this dilution where, depending on the particular query, some people are going to ChatGPT, some people are going to Perplexity, some people are going to Google's AI mode. So just generally, for a lot of reasons, actual website owners are unlikely to get those clicks. But that's largely okay. It's a real shame for the publishing market and so-called info content sites that we used to build. But for actual product businesses, not a lot has changed because those informational queries really don't actually convert that well for products and services. So an AI overview is still not going to be able to fix your roof, supply you with a rowing machine. There's still a lot of opportunity out there for e-com, software, bricks and mortar businesses, local businesses. And don't forget that Google's overall market share still completely dwarfs all these AI alternatives. Now, the AI searches are growing fast. They're literally increasing month on month, but still Google is just so far ahead. I still notice among friends and family that even for largely informational queries, which I know I would go straight to ChatGPT for, they're still opening up Google. So we don't need to be too worried about that yet. And the fact that Perplexity intends to maintain Google as the default search engine on Chrome, well, not a lot is going to change there. Plus, as we know, Perplexity results do seem to very closely follow Google's results. And then we come back to the usual question, which is, how do we rank in AI search? And that does largely come down to formatting, crawlability. How do you make your content so easy for the AI to digest and present as answers? And really, that's not changed a lot over the last few years, even back from when we were trying to optimize for feature snippets. We've always talked about using NLP-friendly language, answer the question in a succinct paragraph that can be served as a people also ask snippet or a feature snippet. And optimizing for these kinds of AI responses is pretty much the same as that. But again, what really matters is those bottom of funnel queries for actual transactional queries where people are looking to buy something. And for those, it doesn't really matter whether you rank on Perplexity, Chat, Google, there's still a lot of opportunity there. So of course, I know there's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the market as to exactly where you should be putting your energy. But it's very clear that SEO is still alive and well, and Google search still dominates. But there's no reason at all that you can't optimize your SEO in order to rank on AI search, because to a very large extent, if you're making all the right measures in order to rank on Google, then it's likely you're going to rank on the AIs as well, as they start to increase in adoption. So even the people who are doing really well with AI search are saying that's still a tiny fraction of their overall traffic and overall sales. So I know it's August, but for now, the most important thing you can be doing is still carrying on as you were. Keep doubling down on your SEO strategy. Because remember, a lot of time with marketing, business, you probably remember this from when you started, it really is all just about execution and just making sure you keep on growing month after month after month, and making that as smooth and simple as possible. Now, if you click the link below, you can maximize that execution by booking a free strategy call with my team. We've only got a limited number of these left for August, because as soon as September comes along, that's when everything's going to take off. Q4 is massive, whether you're in e-com, local, everyone comes back from holiday and realizes they haven't done a lot of work over the last 2 months, and it's time to catch up big time. So now is the time to get ahead and get your strategy in place and executed before that September deadline, when everything kicks off again and the sales rush in. So if you want to prime yourself to be in the best position, then make sure you make your application today. It's just a simple form where you can apply. My team will have a look at your website, have a look at your business, and approved applicants will receive a calendar link for a free detailed strategy. This is a customized growth plan tailored to you, 60 minutes long, with nothing held back. You can also see some of our case studies. We've got a long track record of consistently ranking brands on Google on an ROI profit first basis. Because again, it's not about impressions, it's not about clicks, it's all about your bottom line and ranking for those transactional product-based queries made by people who are actually ready to buy from you. So if that sounds interesting to you, click the link below, fill in the form, and my team will be